Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. I hope you're all well. I hope your families are well. I hope you're all keeping fantastically well. International week. England's on tonight. Italy were on yesterday. I watched that game against Germany. Tough game. Really good match. But it's going to be tough there on the return leg in Germany to try and make it through to the Nation League semi-final. England on tonight, like I said, many one to watch, obviously, for depending what team you support. See who gets out there and does well for England tonight. Let me know your thoughts on how you see that game. Have you any interest in watching England tonight? Let me know how you view that, or whatever nation you follow. Let me know who you're looking out for tonight, which game and which players is in your view. Right. Obviously, there's a lot of talk going on at the moment with the Sol Campbell recently did the overlap with Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Ian Wright, and so forth. There's one particular part that I want to discuss with you guys. Gary Neville asked Sol Campbell. But the particular part that I was really is I don't know what would you call it, the mentality really is he was asked why did you leave Spurs. He was asked outright what was the motive behind the Spurs, and he said it was just a mentality thing. It was a mentality thing. There was players there that certain, you went say away to Liverpool or some tough games. A lot of them sort of basically cried off, or they bottled it with injuries or feigning injuries, or saying, I don't fancy it this week. And it was something that it was getting to him, because it was hard for him to elevate every week to a level that he wanted to be at, when everyone around him, top and bottom and middle, weren't of the same mindset. And of course, when he did leave Spurs to join Arsenal, he said the difference was clearly in mentality. Walked through the changing rooms, he felt the difference straight away. He felt like he was going into a team and players that were in the same sort of it was sort of mentality, and they wanted to win. And that was basically the main differences between the two. Fast forward however many years, really, the mentality at our club, certainly, I don't want to talk about them so much because they've continued, might not have always won, but that mentality to wanted to challenge and go for stuff, challenging for the league, etc. Even this year and last year, so it has always. They may not have always achieved it, of course they haven't, but that's always been the aim. That hasn't changed, even from Sol Campbell's era to the more recent era. And at our club, the reason why the top players and Sol Campbell, look, whatever you want to say about him, and you can argue. Listen, I've had my opinions on him as well, and he's half talked about a load of BS since he's gone, and the motives, and you can argue to the criticism and the songs and all of that stuff, and the hatred for him. I can listen. All of that's absolutely, it is what it is. But in regarding this thing, this one little passage that he mentioned, have a look at it, guys, the overlap, where he mentioned the reasons why he left Tottenham. He dug out some of the players. He didn't mention the players, but he dug them out, ex-teammates of his, about things like bottling big games, going into games where they didn't fancy it as much. It was a mentality. It was always, he felt like, what he wanted and what they wanted were two completely different things, and that's a mentality thing. But then going to Arsenal, it was there. Have a look. That's the passage I want you guys to have a look when you go and see the overlap, to understand what I'm talking about. And it's hard to argue with him. I have to say, it's hard to argue with him, as much as the hatred and rivalry and with him as well, with everything and all the past. It's really, really truthful. I felt it was truthful. It still stands to this point, how our top players, whether it was Sol Campbell, whether it was Modric, whether it was Bale, whether it was Berbatov, whether it was Sheringham, listen, the list is endless, guys, of top players that we have had at our club. Bale, they have all left to go on to the clubs who had the mentality of wanting to win thing. Of course, Real Madrid is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Who wouldn't want to go there? Even if you're a winning club, Real Madrid comes knocking, you want to go there, of course. But I'm not talking about, there's not everybody from Tottenham went to Real Madrid. They all went to club where they had the mentality, the hunger, the strive to challenge, to win things, to want to continue to win things. It's not just going there for a season to win, to continue. Honest, it's a mindset. And until we change that mindset at this club with different owners that will bring that, these owners, for me, we can try and want them to change whatever, but the bottom line is these guys will never ever be the ones to set the tone for the rest of the club to bring Tottenham Hotspur where we hope and we should want to at least be competing at the highest level, trying to at least challenge for the highest honours, which what all these clubs around us and above us do. And without that happening, it's very hard to then bring the players, to keep those players, to keep us winning with those players, so those players are completely satisfied and fulfilled at our club where they don't have to want to go elsewhere or be wanting, because they'd be happy exactly where they are. The same way the likes of all the greatest players, all the great players we had in the histories in the 60s, 70s and 80s, because at least every so often we was winning European trophies, we was winning FA Cups. It made you want to stay at Spurs. But after the 90s going on to where brings us to the Enoch and Levy era, we haven't even been anywhere near that team that even challenged the ones they were always known as a great cup side. That has been long gone, and it's very difficult to obtain any sort of winning mentality and strive for bigger and better than what we currently are right now if the mentality at the club left. That's why Sol Campbell, however way you look at it, with all the hatred that you want, fundamentally, that passage that I've just been speaking about in this video is the true reason why he moved on and took all, and still takes all the stick for it. But fundamentally, he left because he wanted to win things, and he obtained that. And he looked back now, and he look, 25 years on or 30 years on since he left the club, whatever however long it bloody was, he would look back at that and say, look, probably, yeah, all the shit that he got for it, all right, but was it the right move for him? Absolutely was. And for that, I can't blame him. As much as all the thing I have for him, I can't fault him for that part. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's all about mentality, guys. Your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment and subscribe. And as always, forever always, come on you Spurs.